related to where we are going together as a society, as humanity. And the context here is what is happening in India, what is happening internationally, especially in the US, and the design and construction industry. We talked about how damaging it can be for the environment. So 40% of global warming is caused by buildings, existing buildings, and building materials that are being manufactured. So this is the context I want to talk to you about. And I'm just going to go quickly and show images that will provoke some thoughts for you. First of all, let me talk about Canon Design a little bit. We are about 1,300 people in the US. We also have a Mumbai office. We also have a Toronto, Canada office. And we design hospitals. We are one of the top firms in the world. Some of you are going to hear from the Mayo Clinic. Manish Goyal, he runs the COO of the platform. We are doing probably the largest project in the world for him. It's over $5 billion. We design airports. So a lot of the work that we do is carbon producing, embodied carbon as well as carbon continuation. So what are we doing? We are wanting to go in a direction where we can go, I would like to say minus, not just net zero, but minus zero, but I mean, it should be a good aspiration for all of us. So what we're doing in the US, by the way, I come from the Los Angeles area. The evidence is clear that the global warming is really hurting us with the latest fires. So we have already signed a pledge to go carbon neutral in our buildings by 2030. The Mechanical, Electrical, and Plumbing Engineering Society has done the same by 2040, and the structural engineers have done the same for structural engineering and materials. So I clearly want to talk about zero energy, zero carbon, zero harm, zero water, and zero waste. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. As a firm, we are the top firm in the US that is very green. And we have won the Metropolis Planet Positive Award in 2024, Firm of the Year. Time Magazine has mentioned us in terms of a firm that is actually building net zero into reality. So let's talk about the Indian context a little bit. We are, in India, water stressed. We are the most water stressed country in Asia. If the climate warming goes to 1.5 degrees Celsius, 10 to 40 million people are going to have to migrate internally to different parts of the country. It's going to be a huge effort and cost. And these are all statistics coming from research institutes that I can share with you. We are 18% of the population, and we only have 4% of fresh water. So water scarcity is another large issue for us. And when you start to look at, and this issue came up, the farmers are not paying for the water. The city dwellers and the industries are paying for water. So given this context, I just wanted to frame a few things of what we should be doing and could be doing. And so let's start about architecture, engineering, buildings. Use infrastructure as an asset. This is wastewater treatment facility. I'll give you an example. In the Los Angeles area, I come from Orange County, which is on the coast, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach. I live in Laguna Beach. We actually have solutions where 10% of the water that we drink comes from wastewater conversion. So we are way ahead in terms of thinking what could be done. Look at carbon as a liability. We talked about this. And liability needs to be taken off our financial books, just like accounting. And we need to do that. Let's design for 80%, not 100%, so that the MEP engineering can look at how that can be done. And when there is condensation in the air conditioning area, let's look at those byproducts and how we can put them to use. Nature. Nature has always been an amenity, and we are big in healthcare, so we know that nature heals. We also know that students learn better in natural environments. Let's put that in play. Use diversity as an asset. Diversity across the board. Diversity of systems, diversity of people, diversity of thought, and use that as an opportunity to make us greener. We have so much energy in India that we don't utilize. On all our building sites, we literally have 1,000 times more energy coming onto our site through solar, and we are not taking full advantage of that. So energy as an income. Then look at materials, and we talked a little bit about this, of how we can create materials that are that are not so heavy carbon produced materials, and take every project for that opportunity to go forward. Resiliency as a strength. Look at the worst possible things that can happen to us, but learn from those stresses and how we can make them better. Reusing materials rather than throwing them into waste dump yards and landfills. Make sure that our materials that we are currently using are not thrown away and they're reused, because the embodied carbon in these materials is very strong. Use our buildings as a seed to create our communities that are very livable and friendly. So each building, when you think about designing a building, see what impact it is going to have to make our communities better as a starting point and as a positive impact. Modularity is beautiful. It can be beautiful. We know it is efficient, it is productive, and it can be beautiful. And it is in nature. I just wanted to show you these images so that you can start to get, I'm very optimistic, by the way, about where we can go with this, as long as we all come together as a society and humanity to do that. Yeah. So I'm almost there. So let kind of nature heal us. Let that time as a curator process from landfills to green, just an example. Waste. Everything that we consume, if there is waste, we can put that to a better use in terms of compost, for example. Food, half the landfills are full of food. There are ways to solve that at the local level. Use past as a prologue. Not how we should repeat it, but use that as the past and where we can find new opportunities. Use traditions as a blindfold so that we can imagine with technology, with imagination of where things can go. And if you do things on small scale and they're not working, scale it to a higher level and see if that is more effective. Buildings last for a long time. Technology changes. And make sure that we create space for technology to change within buildings. Look at what today is, plan for the future. And hope is inexhaustible. So that's where we are. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prafulji.